We are at the Cannes Lions Festival, a global celebration of creativity, innovation, and marketing. Welcome to the Stagwell Speakers Lounge, where leaders go right from the main stage to this studio. Stagwell, the Challenger Network built to transform marketing, has created this experience so you can get a behind-the-scenes view of this amazing event. I'm Alexis Williams, Chief Brand Officer at Stagwell, and I'm joined by James Coburn, a talent guru in all things marketing and creativity. So, James, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, total pleasure to be here. I don't know if you can feel the heat at home right now, but there's lots of heat out there, but none of us can complain. I actually work in the talent business from the headhunting side, so I recruit talent globally. I'm based in Toronto, actually. But I mean, to be here in Cannes and to be exposed to the thinking and the insight and you know, it doesn't matter what level you are, whether you're junior or more senior. Everybody's sort of on an equal plane. Everybody's jet lagged. Which
True.
You're not jet lagged, so that's a bonus. But talking about some of the learning and some of the experience, I was talking to a creative director in Toronto, and I told him I was coming here to speak to the Creative Academy and to the Student Academy, which is like 30 students from around the world, and Creative Academy also 30 selected 5 to 7 year creatives. And the one thing this creative director said was, if you look at today, there's a lot of young people getting into advertising, or they're about to graduate into advertising, and it's like, why advertising? Because everybody wants to go to a Google or to an Apple or to client side. They're not sure about advertising some of the time, more so today than ever. Are you a copywriter?
I'm not.
Okay. So the one thing he said, which was really quite insightful, I found, was for young creatives, the point of working in advertising is it's actually the strongest foundation for creativity. So you get to learn the language of creative. You get to learn how to pitch, how to sell, how to take your concept, brilliant concept, but how do you actually put it through and have the client buy in? So you could spend a couple of years in advertising as a creative, if you're a writer, an art director, a designer, whatever discipline. But what I really liked that he said was, in fact, you could spend a year or 2 or 3, and then you can go client side. Go and join Stagwell. Or you can actually go to, as I mentioned, go to Twitter, go to a social platform. There's obviously, whether it's a streaming platform, there's hundreds of new directions to go. But isn't it interesting that by learning advertising and taking a concept and learning the language of it, that will allow you to be that much stronger to then go to another platform. So it's quite fascinating, and things are changing so quickly, like massively quickly, that you're in a great place, especially if you're looking to get into the business. Fortunately, it all still boils down to a great idea, though. So no matter how senior you are, it still needs to be a great idea.
Yeah, and that's such an interesting point. You brought up the pace of innovation and the rate at which things are changing. What can companies do, and what do you hear from talent about how to balance the need to deliver on work with the need to constantly develop your skills and be on the forefront of what's coming next? So how do you balance that?
Well, one of the things is to actually go with your passion, because if you're in creative and you're an art director and that's your job description, part of the value today of a creative person is actually adding on your hobbies. Another executive creative director had said to me that today hobbies get you hired. So you may be the designer, but in fact you love to shoot on mobile, you love to even edit, you might love music. So by adding those other assets, we'll call them, I mean they're hobbies, but let's call them assets. So you're a copywriter, but you also do photography, you also do sculpture. And some of the better creatives in the world, there's brilliant stuff being done out of Brazil now where they incorporate some of those other assets. So for a creative person today, bringing those other hobbies or talents to your title.
Life experiences even.
Well, life experiences, yeah. You might be, a stylist who loves fashion, but you can bring that because if you're going to do a shoot and launch it and put it out to social in the next hour, you kind of need to wear a few hats.
Yeah.
So that's a really positive thing. And today, clients are not only asking for content creation, but they expect it. So it'll be fascinating to hear a lot of the different speakers discussing that this week.
Absolutely. And last question, I'm sure everyone would love to hear from you about this. We are very focused on developing the next generation of talent. And so one thing we're asking all of our speakers in the content studio is, what is the best piece of career advice that you would give, or the thing that if you had known when you started your career out would have been really, really helpful for you?
Yeah. It's a good question. The heart of that is it's actually up to you. The good news is it's actually up to you because you can take a blank piece of paper, and if you actually look at what are my real true passions, and I'm talking about what do you really love to do. And so if you do that now and you kind of put that up on the wall, that you also want to become, you're a copywriter, but you want to actually utilize photography more, then go and take a course because you're going to love to do it because that's what your heart's telling you. But so in other words, do it now. You've got a few dreams, then just make the list. I don't care if it's 3 things or 10 things, but do it now, and it'll be funny. You may be Avedon the photographer in the next year or 2. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's great advice. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
And, make sure to check out all the other great videos we have coming out of Cannes Lions, and have a wonderful rest of your day.